And so here's the main goal, guys. Wouldn't you guys agree with this? Basically, if you are running a business right now, okay, make sure you write this down. All right, please do me a favor, write this down, because I don't care if it's in your business, whether it's in working out. If you guys do martial arts, you'll know this. I actually kind of stole this quote from The Art of War, okay? Accomplishing the most while doing the least, okay? Sounds pretty awesome, right? So in terms of business, it just simply means maximizing our ROI with as little effort as possible. See, if you can do that, that is the secret to unlocking a successful business online. Okay, so that's what I want you guys to focus on from now on and the rest of your life, is accomplishing the most while doing the least, okay? So the first question is, and I asked this question in the beginning, what is more important, traffic or conversions? All right, this is a very important question because this is going to determine the rest of the webinar, all right? So go ahead and let me know, what is more important, traffic or conversions for running a successful business? So I see traffic, conversions, both, and then probably 10 more conversions coming in. I see 3 traffics, more conversions. Great. Yeah, I love how interactive you guys are being. I just appreciate this. This is going to be such a great webinar. I think this is what had me pumped up all day. Definitely conversions, no doubt. Somebody said outsourcing. Unfortunately, that wasn't one of the questions, but basically, he said, somebody said, Jennifer said, I appreciate you nerds. That's funny. So basically, I'm going to tell you the answer, all right? The answer is, and a lot of you guys have basically said it, the answer is traffic, okay? Now, I know you might be sitting back in your chair and saying, what the hell, Shane? No, it's conversions, right? You said we're in this business to make money, right? Conversions equal money. Well, here's the thing, guys. All right, so if you are running a website and you build a funnel, like let's call it a sales funnel, and let's say that you're pumping 100 people into that sales funnel, and your sales funnel is converting at 5%, all right? Now, if I can always tweak my funnel to start converting at 10%, so now I start making more sales. But here's the thing, if no one is going through the funnel, it doesn't matter how well it's converting now, does it? So the point is think about it like this. I've owned a couple restaurants with my family, and we kind of pride ourselves in how good our food is. Our food is pretty darn good. Now, here's the thing, is we could have the best food in town. People could like freak out, our food is so good. But if no one is actually coming in to eat our food, how long are we going to be in business? Probably not very long, right? So we need to get traffic in the door, and that's the first thing that we can solve. And then once we have traffic, all we need to do is figure out how to convert it. All right, so, but that's the hardest thing, is how do we get consistent traffic? And that's what we're going to cover today, okay? So what to consider when getting traffic. Make sure you guys write this down, okay? This is very, very important, because remember we talked about running a business that has a successful ROI? This is the secret to an ROI. All right, it needs to be simple, because remember we want it to be like time effective, right? We need it to be cheap. So that, like, I don't know if you guys have ever, paid some money to get traffic, but it can be very, very expensive. And we need it to be effective, right? We need it to actually be traffic that can make us money, right? Wouldn't you guys agree? So simple, cheap, and effective. So from now on, if you're running a business and you're running a website, make sure that your traffic is simple, cheap, and effective, all right? So we're going to keep going, but make sure that you remember those things, okay? If you're running a business, your traffic needs to be simple, cheap, and effective. All right, so over the years, I found a lot of ways to get traffic to my website, okay? I've tried a lot of them. Now, I would say that these are probably the 4 top most used traffic sources. And so we basically, for about 10 years, we were like top leaders in the SEO space. We have the top indexers and link builders on the market, and we have for the last, like I said, since 2011, so quite a long time. Then we tried paid advertising. We did social sharing. You know, Gary Vaynerchuk is all over the social sharing. That guy's a beast. And then we get the content marketing. Right? So we're going to go over the pros and cons of each one of these, all right? So number 1, SEO with long tail keyword targeting, okay? So the key benefit of this is it's very, very cheap, okay? It literally costs like almost next to nothing. But the problem is that it is so time consuming to actually do the keyword research to actually rank, All right, I mean, it just consumes your time. It's very beneficial, but then you actually become at Google's mercy. So let's say that you spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours customizing your website to rank for these keywords, but then Google changes its algorithm, and now you're at its mercy and you lose all your traffic. So that is definitely a hard, it hit our business pretty hard. We lost probably like $20,000 that we were making because Google changed. So it really hurt our business. So then we got the paid advertising. We tried this. Let me know in the chat box if you guys are doing paid advertising right now. Let me know in the chat box. Go ahead and tell me, are you guys doing paid advertising? So I see no, yes, yes, fantastic. All right. And so how many of you guys are actually seeing an ROI with your paid advertising? Are you guys having an ROI? So I see amazing ROI, no, SEO, never. Great. All right. So basically, it's very, very easy because you can simply fund your account, you create your ad, you bid on keywords, and you begin to get traffic within minutes. But here's the problem, guys, is the problem with paid advertising is the traffic comes to a halt once you stop paying, all right? That sucks. And you can lose a lot of money if your ads are not properly optimized to your target audience. So if we have a lot of like ad specialists here, you have to actually make a few different types of ads and then test them all and see which one's converting. It's a lot of work, and most people end up with a negative ROI the first time they tried paid advertising because it takes a long time to actually get the hang of. So it's very, very complicated and kind of risky if you don't know what you're doing. So the other thing is then social sharing. And this is amazing because over the last few years, social networks have just taken off. I don't know if you've looked at any statistics lately, but there's literally 2.2 billion people on social networks. That's crazy. Think about that. I think there's 7.8 billion people in the world. That means a third of people are using social media. Pretty insane. So basically, you can increase your traffic considerably if you take advantage of social platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. And basically, you create something new, you share it with your friends, they in turn share it with their friends using the social platforms or using the social share buttons on your site. So very easy. But here's the problem. Is to build up an actual fan base, sometimes there's costs associated with this through advertising. So if you don't have money to actually spend on that, it's kind of challenging to take advantage of that. The other thing is, think about it this way. Let's say you have one website, okay? So you have one website and you have 4 social media accounts. Now it feels like you're running 5 websites. Wouldn't you guys agree? Now there's 5 more components to just suck up all your time, right? I'm in this because I want to have freedom of time, not have something that's going to suck all my time. So we're going to give you a full system on how to automate this entire process. But then let's get to the next piece. Okay, the next piece is then content marketing. All right, so content marketing is amazing because you can create it, optimize it, publish it, promote it, measure it. You can build links, you can build SEO, you can do all this fancy stuff with social media. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Because simply, content equals traffic. The more content you post, the more traffic you get. Even if it's small amounts until you kind of build up a fan base, the more you post, the more you get. And so I want you guys to think about it like this, okay? So think of traffic like this. So do you remember we talked about SEO in the very beginning, like a couple slides ago? So there's actually 200 different ranking factors for when you're running a website. That's a lot of different things that Google is basically crawling your site and determining whether they should rank you or de-rank you. And so there's 3 #1 ranking factors. Do you guys want to know what those 3 ranking factors are? Go ahead and let me know in the chat box. You want to know what those 3 ranking factors are. Everybody's saying heck yes. So I'll tell you right now. So very, very simple. Always remember this, guys, because if you don't take notes on this, this is like something huge to basically not take advantage of. So #1 is time on site. So let's say you publish an article and someone goes on your website and they start to read it. Google loves that because it looks like you're sharing value, right? Google, the only reason that Google exists with their algorithm is because and the reason that they're so hard on people is because they're trying to prevent people from ranking a website that's just a complete scam website and like taking people's credit card info and stuff. They just don't want to do that. So basically the first ranking factor is time on site. How long is someone staying on your website and reading an article? #2 is, let's say they see another article and they click on that, right? And they start reading that article. Google loves that. Why? Because that visitor loved your website so much, they trusted you to click on another article. So that's the second ranking factor. Now the third most important ranking factor to take advantage of is then also, let's say they see that article and they love it and they're like, you know what, I got to share this with my friends. So they use that little social share button and they share it with everybody. Google loves that. So if you can take advantage of social marketing and then get all three of those benefits, I don't see how you could fail, right? All you got to do is take advantage of those three platforms, but the problem is content marketing. How do you take advantage of it? So that is going to be what we're covering today, is how do you actually succeed with content, so that way we can maximize our ROI. And then at the very, very end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you guys how to take content and start posting on your site and then start to use those other methods to scale this, okay? Because those other methods aren't bad, it's just they aren't cheap and they aren't time effective. So now I'm going to show you a system that just works. It plain out works. And so there's three most important things to consider when talking about content, all right? Write this down. So cost is very important because we want an ROI. We want it to be time effective, when you guys agree, and we need it to be high quality. If it's not high quality, it's not going to help us, all right? It's like throwing crap at a wall and seeing what sticks, all right? That is not what we're trying to do. So when it comes to quality, we need three things, okay? We need it to be relevant, we need it to be unique, and we definitely need it to be popular. We need people to love this stuff. All right, so I'm going to go over how do we get started? How do we take advantage of content? So make sure you write this down because I'm going to give you the easy methods on how to take advantage of content today. All right, so number one is you can write all of your own content. All right, and this is amazing because nobody can communicate your message like yourself. When you guys agree, like I'm sure you guys have faced a thing where you're like, you know, I'm trying to communicate my point, but you can't really pay someone else to communicate it for you sometimes. Right? But here's the problem, is content marketing, when you actually want to write it, on average, each article can take about anywhere from 1 to 2 hours. That's a lot of time, even up to 2 to 3 hours if you're a slow writer like I am. And so for me, the most important thing on a website is consistency. All right? You need to have consistency for your website. All right? So let's say I'm going to publish an article from Monday through Friday. All right, that's 5 articles, meaning that it's going to cost me about 10 to 12 hours of time. That doesn't mean that we're going to get paid. That just means that we're spending a boatload of time hoping, crossing our fingers, that we'll start to get traffic. Well, you know, that's not my favorite, and I'll be honest, I hate writing, so yeah. And then we could hire a copywriter. I've done this before. So you can simply go to a website called Upwork.com, go to content writers, and you can basically hire somebody for like $12 an hour, all the way up to Ann here, who's charging $75 an hour. Goodness, breaking my wallet. And here's the good thing, is it's going to be really high quality, but it's going to take much more time and it's much more costly. So let's use that analogy from before, right? We want to publish an article from Monday to Friday. Now, on average, each article is going to take about 2 hours, all right? So that means we're paying them per hour, and it's going to cost us $250 per week and $1,000 per month, but it doesn't guarantee us money, okay? And that's the whole thing, guys. That's why I was so frustrated when I got first started, was because, you know, I tried to spend all my time to get content. I tried to spend all my money to get traffic, and nothing was working. I kept just digging my hole deeper. It sucked. And so basically that's what we're going to cover today. So things to consider when content marketing, when doing it, right? So number one is we want to publish articles that induce awe, laughter, surprise, sadness, and other emotions that drive people to share something with their friends. Remember we talked about how valuable that was a couple minutes ago? Articles should be fun, interesting, unusual, stupid, outrageous, or even controversial. And I'm pretty sure we see a lot of that on Facebook lately, unfortunately. But articles should also be relevant to our audience or niche. Okay, that's also very pivotal. All right, so let's take a look at something really interesting. You guys want to see something pretty cool? Excellent. So I see some yeses coming in. All right, so what I'm going to show you guys right now, and I'm going to test you on this, so make sure you pay attention. All right, I'm going to ask you guys why these guys are crushing it so hard. Right? So have you guys ever heard of a website called Viral Nova? Go ahead and let me know in the chat box. Have you guys ever heard of this website? So Jennifer said no. Rob Mullins said no. If I pronounce some of these names wrong, Don't hate me. We're still best friends. So I see a lot of no's coming in. I see some great yeses. Wow, holy cow! I got I got a lot of answers coming in. So basically, if you can see here, this is a traffic report. Last month they had 3.5 million visitors. Imagine what you guys could do with 3.5 million visitors. That's a lot of people. Now, the other important thing to look at is, do you see that time on site, right? It's 1 minute and 57 seconds. That's pretty long, right? So then we get to Upworthy.com. Have you guys ever heard of this website? All right, so this one had 8.8 million visitors, okay, with an average duration of 1 minute. Pretty great. So it's Crystal said, yes, spam stories. Well, listen, if they're publishing spam stories, these guys are making, I'm probably pretty sure these companies are worth close to $1 billion. So they're doing something right. So if they're doing something right, we should probably copy what they're doing so that we can actually succeed with it as well. So then we get to Mashable, and this website has over 60 million visitors, well, close to it, right? And look at that average time on site, 4 minutes. Holy cow. Woo-wee. Talk about double whammy, right? Now they're probably getting a huge organic following from SEO, okay? They're probably crushing it because their time on site is crazy, right? Then we get to Huffington Post, and look at this, the amount of visits this website has had, 224 million visitors. I can't even fathom having that much visitors per month. That's crazy. I'd make so much money if I had that much traffic. Oh my goodness. And then, then we get the BuzzFeed. And BuzzFeed, they have 237 million visitors with a time on site of 3 minutes. So I guess that begs the question. So Crystal said fake news. It's all that darn fake news. You know, my grandmother shouts that too. So let's go ahead and ask this question. What is similar between all of these sites, I guess, besides the fake news, right? I'm not picking on you, Crystal, just trying to have fun. So what is similar between all these sites? Why are they basically succeeding with this? Why are they making so much money with this and getting so much traffic? So I see a lot of answers coming in. I see traffic, ads, clickbait, TOS, viral, time on site. Great. So a lot of diverse answers all over the place. So Jennifer says bounce rate does not matter. Bounce rate does matter, right? It does matter, but if a site is getting a ton of traffic, it's going to over-trump the bounce rate. So basically that. So let me go ahead and tell you guys the answer. The answer is one simple thing. All right, remember we talked about what is the most important thing to have successful content? It needs to plug at people's emotions. It needs to be emotionally compelling. That is what sells. That is what gets people to like stuff. All right, so that comes from viral content marketing. All right, viral content marketing requires the least amount of work, time, and money, which makes a huge difference. You simply publish a viral article, and the traffic snowballs from there, like we talked about in the beginning. It explodes your social sharing because it plugs at those emotionally compelling, points, and it's the easiest and fastest way to get huge amounts of relevant traffic within short periods of time. When I first started using this, guys, I literally failed for like 2 years. I wasn't making any money, and then I started utilizing viral content marketing, and my traffic literally started exploding. It was crazy. So what I did was I created this system, and that's what you guys are going to be hearing today, is literally a no BS system to start getting traffic. Now, I saw somebody say something about how are they getting so much traffic? Well, they actually named it. All right, so whoever that was, I can't go up, but they actually named it. And what that is the secret. All right, the secret to this is content curation. All right, so does anybody know what content curation is here? All right, let me know in the chat box. What is content curation? Go ahead and let me know. So I see one yes. I see no idea. Somebody said, Jennifer said half-wit. I feel like Jennifer and me are going to be best friends. She's so funny. Goodness. Publishing other people's stuff, the keeper. So somebody said stolen content. Well, that's not it at all, because content curation is something that we're going to explain in a second. It's very, very important that you guys know how to use this, because if you can utilize content curation, I guarantee you'll start getting content to your or traffic to your website every single day. All right, that's what it did for me, and it did it for 5,000 other people I've worked this with. So what is content curation? Content curation does not include creating new content. It's the act of discovering, compiling, and sharing existing content with your online followers. It's essentially a filter that pulls together the most important bits. So think about like if you were one of those gold miners that was shifting through dirt to find those golden nuggets, right? That's what we're looking for. So imagine two articles, all right? Both articles are identical on what they're talking about, but one article is really, really long, and the other article is kind of the cliff notes, the summed up bits. Now, if you're running a website, which ones do you think are going to have a better success rate with your visitors? The really long article or the summed up bit, right? Go ahead and let me know in the chat box, because this is going to be important. You guys know this answer. It's going to tell me a lot about where you guys are currently at. All right, so I see I see all the right answers. I don't know if you're still on the call Moto theme, guys, but you guys got some smart customers. Everybody is on the ball today. Well, I definitely appreciate it. This is great. So basically, what I want to do, remember we talked about accomplishing the most while doing the least? You guys remember talking about that? That's the whole concept for my business, is I want to do as little as possible, but actually make an ROI. Right? That's literally the secret sauce to my new business now, is I don't want to do more than I have to. Right? So option one for content to take advantage of this was, number one, you could write your own. But we talked about how much time that sucks out of your day. Then we could do option two, which is we can pay someone else to do it, which is going to suck a lot out of your wallet. So it's going to be hard to hit an ROI. Or you can utilize viral content marketing. And so while people are writing their own articles and they're paying someone else to write it, what you do is you just sit back and you wait for ones to go viral, and then you utilize that. You jack all of that traffic and start using it for yourself. And it's 100% legal. That's the best part. Like, we've been doing this for a long time and crushing it with this, but it's amazing how many people aren't utilizing this. Are you guys using content curation in your business? Go ahead and let me know. Because if you are, then you totally know what I'm talking about. This is like the secret sauce. It's the best. Oh my gosh. So I see a lot of no's. I see a couple yeses. So when you guys are, okay, so I see a lot of no's coming in. Okay, and someone said not effectively. All right, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you guys a way to not only use content curation, but use it in a creative way. Because that's the other thing, guys, is it's not only using content curation, because there's a lot of people doing it, right? But the secret is doing it in a creative way, right, to drive traffic. And so that's what we're going to be talking about now. And so basically, as I said, the shortcut to success, no more spending hours and hours and hours and hours writing content, okay? Seriously, if you're doing that, save yourself the trouble, take advantage of content curation. No more spending literally thousands of dollars on writers, because if you're doing that, I would love to know if you're actually hitting the ROI, because I've done it and I literally lost probably $10,000. I just kept saying, I'll stick through it, I'll stick through it, eventually I'll make money, eventually I'll make money. But I never did, and it sucked. And it was very depressing, to be honest. And then no more publishing content that people may not even want to see. Okay, so if you publish an article and you're like, man, I paid so much money and put so much time, this is going to be literally perfect. People are going to love this. And then no one actually comes to your site. You're like, what the heck am I doing this for?